that you need to do, or the first thing that we need to take into account is that failure is part of life, and therefore there's a difference between a person who uses failure as a stepping stone. There's a difference between someone who uses failure as a challenge and that person who uses failure as a block, or as a how do you call it? As a stumbling block.
Mm-hmm. I think you are talking of a very important point.
Yes.
Failure or
Oh my God.
failure.
Okay.
Failure is a very important point.
Yes.
When it comes to youths losing hope, youths feeling hopeless,
Yes.
feeling lack of morale. And you know, if just the way you are saying, if you don't know how to contain failure, it's very difficult for you even to motivate yourself.
Yes.
Because how do you motivate yourself when nothing seems to happen? So that is what we want to talk about. How do you motivate yourself even at the point when things don't seem to happen?
Yes.
You don't know where the next meal is going to come from.
Yes.
You don't know where maybe school fees is going to come from, maybe if you are a student.
Yes.
You don't know where the livelihood itself is going to come from, maybe rent and all that.
Yes.
But in the midst, we are still encouraging you to self-motivate yourself, and just keep your head up, keep going, keep doing whatever you're doing. We have talked about our signal is a little bit down. We have talked about trying to do something.
Yes.
For yourself. It does not matter what it is. However small it is, you can try to do it.
Yes.
So how do you contain failure? Because failure is something that runs people. I've been thinking of like how can we again talk about depression, because I've been having this feeling that every topic that we talk about, at some point it runs us back to depression. It takes us to depression. This causes depression. You find when a youth fails in something, or when you fail in doing something, you feel lonely. Yeah. You want to isolate yourself. Yes. You want to just set yourself aside, be somewhere. We know of many youths, or many people who have maybe failed in one point or the other. They have isolated themselves. They have run into their own cocoon, just closed themselves indoors, and they have been depressed to the point of dying. They have died. We have lost very many of them. We can't count them. Comedians, artists, and these are youths who need to soldier on and just keep their heads up and build this country, because this country is for us all. So how do you just take us through, how do you contain failure to a point where even in the midst of you feeling you're failing, or you have failed, you can still look up, put your head up, and motivate yourself and continue going?
Okay. When it reaches that point, I think the youth should always, you and I, should always look back. That's why in every vehicle there is a side mirror. Reflect where you are from.
That's deep, eh?
Yeah. Reflect where you are from. Before you decided to stop what you're doing, look back. Where are you from? And from where you came from to that point that you've reached,
Right.
has it been smooth? Of course, no.
True.
So when you want to fail because you are just undergoing what you have been undergoing as you continue progressing, that means there's something wrong. There's something wrong. So we cannot we cannot afford to cancel our journey when we are midway. We were going to Kisumu, tukafika wapi? Ahero. Gari kapata pancha. So tuna cancel mwendo.
No, unatengeneza pancha and then you continue by.
Yes. So your puncher, your puncher, opens your mind. What actually do I need to do to continue going with the journey? Going on with this journey. That's why I say that failure should be taken as a motivation or as a stepping stone. Don't look at failure as a stumbling block, because if you look at failure as a stumbling block, you will go nowhere. You will not go further than where you are currently. So before we give up, at that point whereby you are feeling that you are almost reaching the end, just look back. Once you reflect back, definitely you'll get to reflect on people that are behind you, that are also really need also to reach where you are.
True.
Yes, and before I overtake someone, let's say for example in a road scenario, before you overtake somebody, lazima utumie side mirrors, ndio, so that you can overtake smoothly, or safely, ndio. Na hiyo side mirror pia ina motivate in a way, mtu anakuja nyuma, really this person may overtake me at any time or at any point. That's why kuna side mirror kwa gari. And also we need also to look at where, before I started this journey, I sat down, I had a meeting with myself. Nilikuwa naenda wapi before nianze hii moment?
What was my mission?
Many people fail, they fail because they did not have a mission. They did not have also a vision for whatever they are. They did not have a vision for their mission. In that, wanafanya tu kitu, maybe because they saw someone doing, or maybe they're just doing it for the sake.
Or they just found themselves in the situation.
Yes.
They found themselves on the way to Kisumu, but they didn't have a reason why they were going, or they didn't have they didn't plan themselves that they are going to Kisumu.
Yes.
So I understand. First of all, we need to take failure as a stepping stone, as a challenge that is posed to us to build us and to make us know some of the tricks of how to make it. Because if you are traveling to Kisumu and you have a puncture, maybe you are driving close to the pavement, and when you go to driving school, you are told don't drive the car along the pavement. Why? Because when they are cleaning the road, they mostly put a lot of things along the pavement, musumari, nini. So if you drive there, you might hit something that can cause puncture to your car.
Yeah.
So you will know that I should keep the lane, drive my car katikati. So it challenges you, but if you take the challenge positive, then it builds you.
Yes.
You come out very strong, and you make sure that you keep your eye on the vision. You keep your eye on where you purposed yourself to go to. Remember, this show is brought to you courtesy of Meldis Properties. Meldis Properties is professional when it comes to CCTV installation, car tracking system, biometric system, and all types of cable systems that you may need when it comes to security installation in your premise, business, or an office that you run. So contact us via this phone number that is passing down there, or just visit our offices in Eldoret Town, Ketias Building, 6th floor, and get your car or your business security guarded. So let's continue on another point.
Yes.
That if we are self-motivate ourselves, do you think it will prevent us from being depressed at some point? Or do you think depression is just caused by another thing else apart from self-motivation? Because self-motivation, all you have talked about failure as part of it, and I feel failure at some point causes depression amongst us people. Maybe somebody does not know how to handle such kind of a situation. So do you think if we self-motivate ourselves, it will prevent us from running into depression?
Yes, I strongly believe so. Because not everything that makes me depressed can make you depressed. Depression comes from the mind. And depression goes hand in hand with mindset. Yes. Because maybe there's someone who, if he or she seriously does not have money, he can even hang himself. But this person, hata kama hana pesa, huwezi jua. Depression just comes from your mind. How are you viewing things? I'm viewing it at this obtuse angle. The other one is viewing it at another angle.
Acute angle.
Okay. Yes. Now, I strongly feel that if you motivate yourself, you know, the body also appreciates you. And you know, the body cannot appreciate you negatively. The body has never appreciated you negatively. Motivating yourself means doing something. You know, motivation also means appreciating yourself and giving yourself that morale. Now,
accepting the situation.
Yes.
You know, the first key word is you first have to accept the situation.
Yes.
For you to make any progress in a situation where you are, whether it does not matter whichever situation it is, but first of all, it has to come with accepting.
Yeah.
The reason why some of us find it very difficult is we refuse or reject accepting.
Yeah.
Maybe you don't want to accept it for some period of time. For that period of time, you will have a lot of problems with yourself because you don't accept the situation and you don't adapt to a situation so fast.
Yes.
So getting used to the situation takes you a lot of time, and you find yourself in that kind of state where you are depressed or you isolate yourself. So I think accepting the situation should come first.
Key.
Yes.
That's very key. When you don't have money, first accept that I have no money. Do you know
Like
the reason?
me.
You have money,
Oh, okay.
you know, that's the reason why most comedians get into depression. Do you know? Because they don't accept the fact that they are growing.
But you know, comedians always blame. They always blame. They always blame. How do we call it? They always blame fans. That was the word I was looking for. They always blame fans, that it's the fans who are pushing them into depression by expecting too much from them.
That is really what I wanted to talk about. You know, happiness, that's why we are talking about self-motivation. Happiness comes from within. And that is why I came up with this, or we came up with this topic. Self-motivation and self-happiness. Your motivation or your happiness should not be clinged to anyone. You know, the reason why comedians go into depression is because their happiness is clinged on what people say or what people's mindset about them. You see? People say you have money. Within you, unajua huna pesa. You don't want to prove them that you have money. You get it? Yes. In that process of proving that you prove it to them that you have money, yet you don't have, that makes you to start taking loans, you start hiring vehicles, you get into sasa, wewe sasa ni mtu wa deni kabisa. You are pleasing people that are not even, that cannot help you wakati umekwama. So, if I take an example of someone who motivates him or herself. Yeye atasema mimi bora nimefurahi, bora I have that self morale. Let people, what people say, let them say. What I know is that I'm happy. Within me, I'm happy. You see? Watu wanasema huyu ni comedian lakini anaingia kwa mat. And so what? And so long as I'm happy, let people talk. But so long as I'm happy, I know it's very difficult. What this thing I'm saying is always very difficult. Yes, because there are committees, so many committees out here that discuss you as a comedian. But you know, you need first to give yourself that peace. Then you'll be. There's some very few things that will matter to you. Yes.
You know, sometimes I know it's very difficult, more so when it comes to accepting where you are. But some of our artists or some of our comedians, or some of the people in the entertainment industry, sometimes they throw to us a lot of expectation, or they throw to us the level they are in. So we put them into that level because they have thrown it to us. I know of a few comedians who always hire cars to go for a show. They can't board a matatu to Carnival or to Thika. They hire cars. So when that time comes, when you are not able to pay for the car hire, you are not able to hire a car for a show, you even start boycotting the show because whatever you are paid in the show is not equivalent to the expenses that you use per day. So you find yourself using a lot of money, but when you, after the show, whatever you get is, you know, and this one I will say without fear of contradiction. These platforms that we always see our comedians do, or the shows that they always do, does not pay them much. It's a platform that they are given to build themselves. But you know, some of these comedians or artists, they don't take it as a platform. They take it as they have arrived. They put on different suits per day, come with sleek cars, car hires. Instead of building themselves, building the industry, building a brand for themselves, so that they can be used by companies for advertising or any other, or they can also build their own show. They take those platforms as a job. Yes, it's a job, but they take it another way that they have arrived. So, for example, now during this time of Corona pandemic, that every show has been closed down. Everything has been closed down. How do you earn your survival? This is the time you get a lot of artists go into depression. Very much depression is happening during this 7 or 8 months that we have experienced of this year. We have lost some, you know them, just simply because they were not able to contain themselves. They were not able to. Some are even being accused of not even investing a thing. We are not here to discuss artists, but we are here to say the truth. And the truth must be said. If you don't accept the truth, then you are not accepting to change. So if we are not saying that we have invested, I have not invested a thing, but I'm planning to invest something if I get money. But these are facts that we have to sit on a round table and discuss. Because every single time we hear an artist is depressed, has been in-house for 3-4 months, bila kutoka, simply because the money he was getting and the cars he was floating around with, he cannot continue the lifestyle. Should that be a case at this age and time that we are in. This is why we are telling you, you're supposed to motivate yourself. What motivates you? People have different things that motivates them. So if that thing that motivates you is lost, then you know you are nothing. So put on that thing that motivates you. If the passion for whatever you're doing is what motivates you, if changing people's lives is what motivates you, keep doing it, so that your motivation, your graph of motivation can keep going up, so that you can, even if you lose a job or you lose your like say that corona came in and people lost a different livelihood across, that thing that motivates you can keep you going. At the end of the day, you will still be able to survive. Yeah.
That's very, very correct. It's a point. There are so many points that you mentioned there that a keen person, natumai hata ameandika moja mbili tatu hapo. Your happiness should not be claimed to anyone else.
True.
Yeah. You need to give yourself that happiness. And it should be genuine. You know, there are some happiness, there are some happiness that are not genuine. You just make them temporary. I mean, you just showcase them. Just the way you said, there are these people, these celebrities that do these things or hire vehicles or stay or live in very comfortable
homes.
Yes. Just for the people, not for fans, not for them, for fun.
Sure.
Not for them. Mimi nikiishi kwa nyumba ya nyasi, and I'm very much comfortable with that. Hata ukiniambia aje, so long as I'm comfortable, then ukikuja kunitembelea, hapo ndio nitakwambia uingilie. Hiyo ndio nyumba yangu. Why should I hire ile nyumba yenye siku moja itaniletea shida baadaye? And you need to know that success does not come once. It comes in steps.
Very true. Very true.
So you know, someone can not just wake up alafu akwe successful. Even if you are the son of the richest person in this world, ukizaliwa,
son of the dynasty.
Once you are born, you are not successful. Hizo bali si zako.
Very true.
Yes,
you have to work towards achieving yours.
Because there's a story that motivated me. There's a billionaire who employed his son as a gate man in his company. Akamwambia, hii mali si rahisi kupata. I mean, you just need to start from somewhere. Yeah, start from somewhere at least. Ujue the pain that one has to go through to get all this. Yes.
The sacrifices.
Yeah, the sacrifices. And failure is just the way to success. I mean, you cannot be a successful person. You cannot be destined for success if you are not failing.
Failure is a component.
Yeah,
it's a component of success.
It's part and parcel of success.
But if you are not careful, failure can destroy you.
Yes.
And that is actually the major thing that we are talking about today. I think out of this topic we have just exhausted failure. If you are not very careful, failure can destroy you completely.
Yeah.
And you can't come up and you can't come back on your feet and keep going. Yeah. But if you are very careful, if you know that failure is part and parcel of success, then you know when you reach a point where you fail, you know the best thing is just to keep wake up and keep going the following day. Or keep doing the thing you are doing, but you change tactic a little bit. If you followed this route and you failed to reach town, you're still destined to go to town. You can use another road. You can try off another road and find yourself in town, maybe even using shorter time than the one you've used.
There's this important word that you've used. Change the tactic.
True.
Changing the tactic. Yes, you want to go to Kisumu. Na uko na gari ambayo unajua iko na pancha. Miguu miwili. 2 wheels. Wewe unaingia kwa gari yenyewe, unaenda Kisumu with the same vehicle. What will be the aftermath of that?
You will not even move.
You won't move. So there are some people who are just clinging to that failure. You see, they are clinging to that failure and they are looking forward to succeeding. I mean, you cannot. You know, there are some things that actually we need just to sit down and do. I mean,
Analyze.
and do analysis on our own. You have realized you did this thing in this manner and failed.
Right.
You are doing this in the same way and you are expecting to succeed.
It's called the common phrase, doing the same thing the same way and expecting different results.
That one can't happen.
That's a common phrase. It's not new. We have not invented it. It's been there. Doing the same thing the same way, year in, year out,
And you are expecting
different
no,
results.
no.
It's very difficult. Or it might take you longer time. But if you try in new dynamics, you try in new tactics, you try this and you umegonga ukuta, come back, use another route. Ukifika hapo tena umegonga ukuta, come back, use another route. Lazima utapata ile yenye utatoka nayo.
Just consistency.
Finally, exactly.
And another way of self-motivation is appreciating the small progresses that you are making.
Oh my.
You know, there are people who complain from morning to evening, from Monday to to Sunday, from January to December. Yani maisha yao imeishi tu kulalamika. Just complaining, nagging. Hata Mungu atachoka na wewe.
True.
Let us appreciate the progresses that we make. Hata kama ni kidogo namna gani. Leo nimekuwa kwa 1. Nimejaribu. Nikaenda kwa 1.25. Take your time and appreciate. Celebrate for that quarter mark you have reached, you have made. And then at least utakuwa that is different. That will bring self-motivation.
For those who are watching us live on Facebook, our signal is a little bit down. I think it's because of the internet that we are using today. So we'll be right back on Facebook, but YouTube we are still live.
Yes.
So I think the point that his general is bringing in is a very important point. I was not even expecting that point to come. You are complaining non-stop. There's no day you will even appreciate something that God has moved you from this point to another. At least you even look back and say that I didn't have this, I was not this far. Even though I'm still struggling in one way or the other, even though I'm still expecting something better. But we are back on Facebook, so even if I'm still struggling to get something better, but at least there's somewhere I am that I wasn't. There's something that I have that I didn't have. I think that is a very good point.
Thank you. Let us always learn to appreciate. Let us always learn to appreciate.
Because before you continue, because if you appreciate, at least it motivates you that so I'm not where I was. Yeah, you see. At least niko na simu.
Those who are watching us.
Yeah, because if you appreciate the smallest things you have, it even motivates you that kumbe hii kitu nafanya is changing my life.
Progress.
Yeah, there's some progress.
Yes.
Kidogo. It doesn't mean it has to be something big.
Yeah.
John is calling me and I'm live on the show. I know you are watching. That's why you are calling me. So I'll. So if you appreciate or if you appreciate the smallest things that you achieve, it does not matter. It has to be something big. Just the smallest thing.
Yes.
Oh my, we are back. So it does not mean it has to be something big.
Yes.
But the smallest things that you have acquired. If you look back and say, that I was, at some point, I was not even able to rent my own house.
Yes.
At least now I can rent my house, I can pay 2,500, I can pay 2,000, I can eat and sleep. That is something to appreciate. That is
Yes.
something to recognize the growth. If you look back and recognize these small things, then it will motivate you. Ah, man, I am growing. You know, that inner joy will come,
Yes.
and you will realize that you are growing. You are not stagnant. But if you just close your eyes, you can't see anything. Whatever you are seeing is just that nimepoteza kazi.
You are seeing
Okay.
failures.
Yeah, my biashara yangu haiendi vizuri. A client promised me a job, didn't come through. Because me personally, the whole of this 2020, you know, when it comes to videography that I do, we always do what we call marketing. For 2021, we start marketing this year by November, December. We start doing marketing. The shows that we do, or the shoots that we do as we do marketing for next year. So you can imagine how much I spent last year marketing for this year. And this year we have been in lockdown the whole year.
Yes.
So if I only focuses on how much I used last year, I made a very bad decision. I used a lot of money in marketing, and now all the emails that I receive are job cancel. I would have not been able to get moja zenye nimepata this year before. Because you focus so much on the negative side. Nobody knew Corona would come. Nobody knew we would be locked down. Even the clients themselves are regretting, but they have nothing to do.
Yeah.
So if we take the smallest things, at least kuna moja mbili tatu umepata umefanya, then you say we thank God. Kuna mwenye maybe hata hajapata. Yeah. So I love that point of appreciating. Just appreciate something small that you are able to do. It does not matter how big or small it is, but at least it gives you energy to keep doing what you do, so that you achieve even better.
Yes. If in a competition there are always spectators that always cheer the people that are the sports people, and that gives them that strength. And you know that's just motivation from. That's just external motivation.
But you know, they always say spectators are good players.
They are good players.
The only problem, they play from outside. So you are inside the field. Hata ukibaki na goalkeeper na umeshindwa kuscore, it's you. It's your moment. Don't always listen to the cheers. Maybe some spectators are not even cheering you out of their own heart. They're just hey, but they are not doing it from their heart. So don't always listen to them.
And also
listen to yourself and what your heart tells you.
And that's the point I was bringing home. If this cheering from outside is not always, at least inafanya mtu hata anaongeza speed kidogo. What about the internal one? Sasa yako wewe ndio unademotivate. You will go further.
True.
Go further. That was
two very strong points that we have talked about today. Learn to know how to contain failure. It will come. Failure will come at some point in life. Unless you are somebody who...
You're immortal.
Not even immortal. You are just somebody who does not want to grow.
You've refused to grow.
You have refused to grow. But if you are somebody with vision, with dreams, somebody who wants to go far, then you will meet failure at some point in a junction somewhere. If this junction refuses to take you, come back and use this other one. If this also refuses, look for another route, hata kama ni kutengeneza your own way. But don't let failure, that now umefika kwa junction now, hii imeisha hivi.
I don't know, many people always fail because they always concentrate on the closed door.
Oh man. they fail to see the
They, you know, if you concentrate so much on the negatives, you will not see the positives.
Very true.
You will not.
Very true. You can't because you only have one focus.
You have
If
one
that
focus.
is on the negative side, you can't have another one to focus on the positive side.
Vile tunaweza chukua example ya hii kamera. Hii kamera ikiwa lens imeangalia darkness. Hiyo screen itaonyesha nini?
Darkness.
Hakuna, you cannot focus the camera on darkness and expect light kwa screen.
True.
So we need always to let us see good things in every bad situation. At least chukua kitu kimoja. Hata kama sio kitu ambacho ni muhimu, but at least take something that motivates you. That thing that makes you go forward.
Very true. Couldn't end it better than that. General has nailed it down. Visit our premises, our Meldis offices in Eldoret, Ketias Building, 6th floor. For your CCTV surveillances, cameras, motor vehicle car tracking system, and all biometric systems, all different types of cables that you may need for your installations. Visit our offices, Ketias Building, 6th floor. Meldis offices are located there, Eldoret town. For contact, or maybe you are outside Eldoret and you wish to contact, our phone number is just running down there. We'll be able to get in touch and give you the best security services that you need for your premise or your business or your car that you need to be tracked. Thank you so much for being part of the show. For those that always contact us, for those that always be part of the show, watch with us when we are live or even after, because all these feeds are on YouTube as well as on Facebook Live.
Yes.
So every single time you watch our videos, please comment, subscribe to our YouTube channel, Encon Media, and like our Facebook page, Encon Media as well. Our email address is enconmedia@gmail.com. You want to write to us, you want to contact us, our phone number is on Facebook. Just contact us, call us, tell us any opinion that you have. We are open. We'll be able to receive your contribution in the smallest way it comes. We will be able to build it and make a topic out of it. Thank you so much for being part of the show. Up to until on Saturday, we'll be able to come back with. On Saturdays, we have been focusing on doing some things behind the show, the scene. But this Saturday, we are coming back just to make sure we motivate our youths and we encourage one another, and we make sure that our youths build one another in the best way possible that we can. Thank you so much. I have been your host, Justus Nana.
And the General Uhuru. Tuonane tena Saturday. Video.